Hola.
Hello. Welcome back to the second video episode of You're Not My Father. I am not your father, unless I am. And
Sophia.
she doesn't have a last name.
No, I don't. I'm an orphan.
She's not an orphan. I'm her father. One of the few people.
Really?
Well, a few people that could actually say, okay, that is my father. Really is. It kind of looks like we're in the military. Got like a gun on my shirt, and like you're wearing army green, whatever. It's kind of funny. So, today's episode, we're talking about being a father to a daughter. Um, and why are we doing that? Because it looks like it's trending on YouTube, sorta. And next week, at church, there's a father-daughter banquet, and I've been seeing this kind of going around quite a bit on social media. Some of the friends that I work with, and it looks like it's pretty interesting. I'm not really quite sure what goes on at one of these types of things, but it definitely seems like a time for a dad to kind of spend time with his daughter in kind of like a public setting, and it's more of a kind of a formal type atmosphere. So just so you know, formal means like you got dressed up a little bit. So
I always dress up to go to church.
always, okay,
Always.
always, all right. Well, it's gonna be in the evening. Like I said, it's next week. At first, I thought it was a dance, and I was like, "You're gonna have to dance," and she was like, "Dance? What?" Well, I'm not too keen on dancing either. Although my recent trip to Mexico was dancing, not Mexico, Puerto Rico. Forgive me, Puerto Rico. But there was a really tall lady. It was one of the receptions that we had one of the last nights out, and they had these dancers, and they were clad in like this white, kind of shimmery, silvery material, and they were on stilts, and like their pants went all the way down, so it was just kind of they looked like really really tall ladies, and they were glow in the dark, and had lights on and stuff like that. And heaven help me if I'm gonna put that in this video. Might as well. What do I care? But I was joking around. I walked right up to one of the ladies and I was like, I really like tall ladies. And I was I don't know if I said, you know, do you want to dance, or if she asked me, or whatever. I'm sure I probably said it jokingly, and she was like, yes. And I was like, oh crap. I've got to dance with this lady that's like an easily like 8 foot tall or whatever. But it was really cool. She said I was doing well, but yeah, there's video of me that I'm probably not gonna put on the channel, but don't do it. No, no. It was cool though. It was really really cool. So um, not looking forward to any of that kind of dancing. That was scary. I was just like, what if this lady falls over and she gets hurt, and it's all my fault because I'm stupid and I don't know where to put my feet. It was very intimidating. But overall, it was a good night. So I'm looking forward to going to this event next week. So Sophia's birthday is this week, and she wanted me to get her a CD player,
A pink one.
a pink one. And of course, I tried to, the technophile I am, I was trying to tell her, I was like, why do you want a CD player? They hardly don't even make CDs. You can't really get them anymore. You can get them in some places, but not too often. So yeah, a CD player. I tried to convince her otherwise, but her, you know, we actually did a video a long time ago, and actually we did a couple of videos. I wouldn't say that they were like this type of format, but I wonder if she can still do it. So Sophia used to be able to do something called the death stare. Can you do it?
I can do it. I don't want to
Come on,
though.
just do it.
Why?
Because it's amazing. It's funny.
All you do is you tilt your head down and you look at the camera.
What? No, you rolled your eyes back in your head.
Yeah, you just move your eyes up.
Well, why don't you show the fun people on YouTube your skill?
But that's weird.
You know what? People like weird.
Not this type of weird.
Please do it.
Will you pay me money?
Look, I ordered you a CD player and a new pair of Chuck Taylors, which are
Chuck
ridiculous.
Taylor's
What are they?
Converse.
They're Chuck Taylors. That's the name on there. They're Chucks. Anyway, they're like $80. They're like a premium, like above premium shoe. They used to not be premiums. Anyway, so I did both those things. Plus, I've got other stuff downstairs that I got you that you don't know about that you'll like. So please indulge us. Highway robbery. This is a father-daughter relationship. You wanted to see something? This is exactly how it works.
He still makes me do the floss in front of
You
people.
have not done the floss in like a year. Do the death stare. Come on. Not sure if that worked or not. You be the judge. Thumbs up, thumbs down. Leave us a comment. Was it scary? Was it intimidating? Was it funny? Was it entertaining?
It's probably really cringy.
Could be cringy. Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna do this daddy daughter banquet thing, and it's pretty nice. I'll have to admit, as a father, we well, let's just face it. Sophie has been a mama's girl most of her life. I wouldn't say she's been a daddy's girl. And that was something, I kind of saw happening whenever she was a baby. And um, I don't know.
You've always been my favorite, though.
Really?
Yeah.
Like always, always?
Since I was like 6-ish.
Oh. Well, for a long time, I felt like, that, well, she always wants to go to mom. Mommy this, mommy that, mom, mommy, mommy, mommy. And I don't know. I felt kind of left out of it. So you're saying that I've been your favorite for
A
most
while.
of your life now?
Yes.
Why? I'm curious.
Um, Mom is old fashioned. Like, too old fashioned.
Oh,
I guess you understand some things more.
understand. You understand some things, old man.
Mom has a very traditional way of thinking, like great grandpa, grandma type of thinking.
You better hope she doesn't watch all this.
I'm sure she won't.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, I can see that. She's old fashioned, I guess. Um, I still feel like I'm a kid, so maybe that helps. That I don't
You're
necessarily.
silly.
I am silly. As a matter of fact, I can be quite silly. Of course, like, whoa, I can't really see close up. This is a problem. I'm almost 50 now, and like this far away, things are a little bit blurry. I went to the eye doctor, and he's like, "You have 45 itis." I'm like, "What the hell's that?" He's like, "You're getting old. You need glasses." Great, and it bothers me every single day. It's funny because you had to get glasses at one point, and
Yeah, and now I have 20/20 vision. My eyesight improved.
well, that's great. I mean, I had great vision all the way up until somewhere around the pandemic, and conspiracy theory, you know. Wait a minute, I got a sticker just for this.
COVID made your eyesight worse.
The truth is out there. Um, I don't think COVID made me. But I didn't have COVID at that point. I didn't have COVID until we moved in this house, so that was kind of like after I started having vision problems. So I don't know. Um,
You might have had COVID and you didn't know it.
mm, I don't think so. I don't recall getting sick at the old house. We weren't really moving around a whole lot and whatnot. It was actually kind of nice because for a long time, I think for at least a year, year and a half, 2 years, I don't think none of us really got sick, like with a cold or anything. So I don't know.
A couple weeks ago, I got like sicker than I've ever been in my entire life, and I was throwing my guts up for like 3 days.
Yeah, I was kind of curious what that was. Now, COVID doesn't really have that. Why are we even talking about COVID? This is crazy. I guess COVID has been a part of our life, but
I can guarantee that was not COVID.
I.
The worst COVID gave me was like a sore throat, and I've had worse sore throats from like colds
Well, at this point, both of us have had COVID like at least.
3-ish times.
Yeah, for me, I think I've had it more than that. I think I've had it 5 times. I'm all pro, all state, baby. COVID finals, MVP. It's a horrible thing to say.
MVP gold.
MVP gold, 100K. Oh, that's horrible. Anyway, let's move to a different place. Wow.
Transition.
Wow, we're so cool. We do transitions. Transitions. That reminds me of glasses again. I don't like glasses. Although it is kind of nice whenever you're looking at a screen, it's all kind of blurry, and you're like, this sucks. And you put glasses on, and you're like, these things are pretty cool. Yeah, kind of works out well. So what else is going on in daddy daughter world? School? You're making a transition to high school. Yeah, she's moving to high school.
At
Her.
like half a year.
Yeah, she's turning 14 this week.
2 days.
2 days. She's gonna be 14, and she was all like, "I'm gonna be driving and vroom, 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 vroom," and then she's talking about the test, and then at some point, I think something clicked in her mind where, like, oh, wait a minute, I'm gonna have to drive. I don't know if I want to drive. It's like work. I don't know if I want to do that. What's been
No.
going through your mind?
What's been going through my mind is you said that since I was so eager to take the test that I'd only get one chance at the test for a while. And I want to be prepared.
That's not my rule. That's their rule. Like I don't think you can take it the
You
same
never said
day.
that though.
Well, mommy said that because
No, mom said it. You can't take it the same day.
well, that's basically what I was getting at. I failed the test the first day. Julie failed the test the first day.
I'm gonna beat both of them at some point and do it the first day.
Hey, awesome. I think it was the insurance requirements. It was like what is the requirements for insurance in Alaska and for uninsured drivers and blah 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 blah. And I'm like, what? It's like I know how to drive. So anyway, at that point we were both like, okay, about the we're gonna have to read. So that's what we did. I think we both passed the second try after the first time. That insurance requirement thing didn't even pop up the second time. I had it memorized, and well, second time out I didn't have to do it. But see, here's what I envision: like you get to take your brother to school. You get to pick your brother up from school.
In 2 years.
Right, yeah. But I mean, realistically, driving today in Alaska is quite a bit different than like whenever I was growing up. So when I was growing up, like the biggest thing I had to figure out was parallel parking. Like every kid in the South, in my neck of the woods, so to speak, could drive. Like had been driving, they probably drove somebody's car in a field somewhere or dirt roads and whatever. But the treacherous parallel parking, nobody parallel parked in our county. Like the only time I think anybody really parallel parked in our county was whenever you were taking the driving test, and then maybe at a few spots outside the courthouse. But outside of that, there was no parallel parking, and that was kind of scary. Um, and to do it in a better way, so that was the only scary thing about the driving part for me. And honestly, I still hate parallel parking to this day. But Alaska is a bit different because you've got a layer of ice and snow and slippery conditions like 6 months out of the year. So you're going to need to go to the Costco No, I'm sorry. Costco parking lot's always filled. Scratch that. Fred Meyer, Walmart or whatever parking lot, off hours, weekend, early morning, whatever. And you just have to take your vehicle out there and just give it hell. Like, spin it the wrong way. Make it intentionally go out of control without flipping it over, because a lot of times the really hairy parts of the road, like, you'll lose control. And so you have to be able to not overcorrect, but also not undercorrect. You just kind of have to find that right balance. So that's why I want you to start driving right away, because realistically, it's not like I'm going to put you in driving school on a regular basis and whatever. I mean, we'll just kind of approach it naturally. It's like, okay, today you get to drive us to Costco or this, that, or whatever. Or we're going to take an opportunity and go in a parking lot and let you do some donuts, 360s, and, learn how your car responds to that, and like, what do you do? Um, you know, you'll be a good driver.
I can drive go-karts extremely well.
Well, I don't
And I
think
know all the rules to the road, or all the important ones.
what.
Like, use your turn signal, and don't go over the speed limit by like over 10.
That's true. Usually, a good rule of thumb is do not go 7 miles an hour over speed limit. Um,
10, yeah.
10 really means that you'll probably get a ticket if you get caught. Most cops don't care if you're slightly above, but
Unless it's a school zone.
yep, school zone 5 miles an hour is not good. It's true. Some of the whenever I was your age and I was in school and I had to take driver's ed, they gave us horrific videos to watch. When I say horrific, like here's Johnny. He's driving down the road. He's having a drink, and his reactions are slowed down. Watch what happens whenever Johnny hits a person on the side of the road and causes complete Armageddon. And like, there's blood dripping out of the car and it's all mangled. And Johnny's lifeless arm just goes, and they're like, this could happen to you if you don't pay attention to the laws of the road. And it's like, whoa.
Most of it's just don't drink and drive, but okay.
The other thing that they would do is they would bring like wrecked cars and stick them at the school. 4 people died in this car. I want you to take a look. Yeah, that's right. You look at this car. I'm serious. Like, they would do that. They would put like somebody's mangled up car that got killed, and they're like, drug driving. This will happen to you.
Ran a
Watch.
red light.
Yeah. He didn't have his wipers on in the rain. Death. He's dead. He's gone. Yeah. So I maybe I could try to intimidate you a little bit. I think Dad didn't really teach me to drive, not per se. Um, Dad probably was not a good. My dad was probably not the best teacher of driving. Now, since he was a police officer, I'm sure I've said this on the channel before, but probably not in a video. But one day I asked him, I was like, why did you want to get into law enforcement? He'd done all this stuff in the military and whatever, and he was like, get to drive fast and shoot guns. It's like, that's smart. I like that.
Makes sense to me.
Drive fast, shoot guns. I mean, pretty cool. But there were plenty of times that he took me for rides where I'll never forget this one time. We were going to Grandma's house. Well, Grandma lived what 850 miles away. She lived in Titusville, which is right outside Orlando. It's where Cape Canaveral is, and he had his car going so fast that the antenna was on the back of the car. It was bent back like this. It was just kind of. That's how fast we were going. I think he was doing like 140. I think he hit 142. Um, and I'm he was in law enforcement at that time. He wasn't. We were not in a patrol car. We didn't have lights and siren on. Which legally, if you're going to break the speed limit as law enforcement emergency vehicle or whatever, you need to have your lights and sirens on. And anyway, he didn't. It was pretty cool. But one of the things that I do remember was that I implicitly trusted my dad going that fast. Um, whether it was ignorance on my part or whether like I had supreme confidence in his abilities. But um, I can tell you this: we are not going to be driving
I did
over
not
100.
want you to though.
We're not going to be driving over 100 miles an hour. Now,
Don't go driving over 80.
well, I mean, there's some parts of the road here that the speed limit is 75. So
Don't go over 80.
it depends. This episode is not about. Um, I guess it's not about driving. It's this father-daughter interaction. I just now noticed that you've just got a toothpick just casually hanging out of your mouth. I saw it, but now I actually realize it. You're just like,
I've had a toothpick in my mouth since I got home.
why?
Because it's
'Cause,
fun.
damn it, it's fun.
You can chew on it.
I don't think I've ever heard of a toothpick as being fun.
You could play with it with your tongue, I guess. I don't know.
What do you want to do tonight? Toothpicks. Straight up. Toothpicks. Yeah. So you want to hear another Grampy Howard story? My dad.
Is it about driving?
It's about toothpicks and about driving, sort of.
Yeah.
Okay. So, um, dad was a smoker for a long time, military, that type of stuff. And he was working a murder scene one night because he was law enforcement. And he told me the story basically how he stopped smoking because he was working this murder scene. I guess it was a
Oh,
particularly
you told me
gruesome.
this one.
Yeah. Well, they haven't heard it. And he just kept smoking. He was lighting one cigarette after another, and he was. I don't know if he was filling out a report or he was taking notes or whatever, but he noticed that like he had just gone through essentially like a whole pack of cigarettes, and he just was like, "That's it, I'm done." And so he went to toothpicks. It's kind of interesting because after that, toothpicks were like a part of his routine. But um, back in the late '80s, early '90s, they used to make these cinnamon toothpicks, and they were like 5 or 10 in a pack. I think it was like 25 cents a pack or whatever. And you get these, and it had this really hot cinnamon oil on it. And whenever you just kind of have it in your mouth and you're chewing it, it's like releasing this oil, and it was like a really spicy big red chewing gum or something like that. It was really flavorful. Of course, at one point we were like, we're gonna make it rich. We're gonna make our own. We're gonna get cinnamon oil, and they were way too hot. They would burn your mouth like from the chemical. Like you just didn't set a fire. Anyway, long story short, um, Dad always had a toothpick in his mouth. He had toothpicks stuck everywhere. As a matter of fact, if he'd ever been in a car for any length of time, you climb in the car, you close the door, you're on the steering wheel. You got your hand on the steering wheel. You look right up here, like right where the upholstery hits the plastic, and there'd be toothpicks sticking there, like two or three. And so he always typically had one in his mouth or close by or whatever. As a matter of fact, one of the few things that are brought back is this little wooden vial or whatever, and that was his toothpick carrier.
Little duck.
No, not the duck.
I thought you said the duck was for his toothpicks.
I think he did have that in there too, but this was like the one that was like almost always on him. But he would carry that in his pocket, and that was I kept his toothpicks clean. So I'm not saying that like, oh, it's genetics. You've got a toothpick in your mouth. Hooray! No, but it's something. If Grampy Howard was alive today and he was sitting here with us and chilling out and telling us about something or having a cup of coffee, like I would see the comparison. You'd have a toothpick in his mouth. As a matter of fact, he'd probably ask you to get a toothpick if you didn't have one. Um, yeah. So anyway, dental hygiene was really important to him. He was always getting on to me about brushing my teeth, always. Um, I can't tell you how many times he embarrassed me growing up, and he'd be like, "Let me see your teeth." I'm like, "What?" I'm like 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Let me see your teeth. You gotta take better care of your teeth. What? And in his defense, I'll defend him. Maybe for some periods of time, I wasn't taking good care of my teeth. Certainly not like I do today. But that was teeth were a big deal to him. Um, and me being who I am and being the dad I am, you should take care of your teeth. So instead of just looking cool with a toothpick, make sure you use it. But the floss picks were way better, hands down.
I do this with floss picks too.
Yeah, me too. There's sometimes I'm in traffic. So if I didn't have dad in my life, I wouldn't have that bag of floss picks sitting in the door of my truck. So kind of what goes on to nowadays is I have a bag of like the Crest or Scope floss picks, either one. I have them stuck in my door, and it's like there's never a really good time to floss. But I'll tell you, driving in traffic and waiting at lights, because driving in Anchorage, you can be waiting at lights quite a bit, or if you're taking kids to school or picking them up, um, there's some time spent in doing that. So, what better way to do some dental hygiene than to clean your teeth? Uh oh, somebody's here.
The mama.
Now she's like not making any noise. I wonder why. She's checking her phone. Wait, did she come in from the garage? Oh, she's probably downstairs. All right, it's time to make another transition. Would you like to do the honors?
Oh.
We're going downstairs. Oh my.
Mama's car's in the garage.
We thought the best way to show off some real Alaska is to be in an Alaskan garage because it's filled with crap and dangerous things.
The mat was wet. My socks are wet now.
There's probably nothing worse than this world. I'm joking. And of course, I had the mic in my hand, so it's probably like, "Arr, arr, 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 arr."
Wet socks. Wet socks.
Anyway, we're in the garage. So we had to move a bunch of stuff out of the garage, or out of the way to actually get in the garage because that's what.
We moved like one thing.
What are you talking about? I moved like several things here. You moved that. You moved whatever for.
I didn't see that.
I didn't see it.
It
Either
wouldn't
way,
happen if I didn't see it.
you ever played the game? What's it called? Musical chairs.
Yes.
See, I don't even get a chair. That's how screwed up
I won.
this garage is. I didn't even get one.
Well, that's the aim of the game. I won.
That's the name of the game.
I said aim.
Aim.
Aim of the game.
It's name of the game.
It's aim.
No, it's the name of the game. I've never heard that.
Musical chairs is not
The aim of the game?
aim. It's how.
You used to call pepperoni puppyoni.
And
I've never heard the aim of the game. All right, let's let YouTube decide. If you've gotten this far in this video and you know it as name of the game, or if you've heard it called the aim of the game,
I
like, comment, subscribe, put it down in the comments. Does Team Sophia win, or does Team Sophia lose?
aim of the game makes more sense.
It may make more sense, but I don't think I've ever heard that before.
Well, it rhymes, so that's probably why. He just thought it was name of the game.
What? Aim of the game rhymes.
Aim and name.
Name of the game rhymes.
Exactly. That's why you didn't. You heard it wrong.
See, if you wanted to know what a father-daughter relationship is like, this is close.
He's always wrong and I'm always right. Unless it's about math, then he's right.
What?
Unless it's about math, then he's right.
Why am I right?
Because I suck at math.
I just use a calculator.
Exactly. I don't need to learn how to graph calculations and make lines out of equations and figure out what x is and do all of that just to figure out a number when I could use a calculator.
I, Team Sophia is correct in this. I don't see where that skill is useful in general, um, for most people. Um, basic math skills, yes. Don't get me wrong. I'm not poo-pooing math. What I'm poo-pooing is advanced math for everybody. I don't think everybody needs to know that. I think in a lot of cases, and I've said this on the podcast, but I've never said this in the video, is instead of having algebra or I can't even say it right.
Algebra makes sense,
I,
but
I can't see where algebra and geometry, trig, calculus, 1, 2, and 3, and whatever, really makes much of a sense. Where much
graphing
of a
doesn't.
sense? Nine just sounds stupid. Okay, higher math, I don't think is meant for everybody. If you're going to go into engineering or if you're going to be a fighter pilot, plane,
Learn it
you
in
know,
college.
that type of stuff. There you go. That's part of your required curriculum. If you wanted to learn that stuff in high school and you know that's your career path, great. Where I'm trying to go with this is instead of having these things that are not used in most people's lives, how about basic finance? What about real home economics? Like, balancing your checkbook, um,
Cooking.
the benefits and dangers of credit cards, savings, things that really, really apply. Or, how to start your own business, how to run a business, how running a business and running your household are very kind of common things. You don't necessarily want to um, be losing money and throwing it all out the window. There's a lot of stuff to that point. So realistically, I feel like education reform is reform sounds pretty bad. It's like this bottle of
Propel.
this is not what it's called. Say that again.
Propel.
Propopel.
Propel.
Propopel. We use the fancy English. Propopel.
Gatorade.
Education reform sounds like you're just going to dump this all out and you'll fill it with something different. No, 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 not at all. What I'm saying is that
Pour out half of it.
take this slice of education, push it into the areas where people would need it, and make people a little bit more educated about things that really affect their lives.
Pour out half of it into a glass and then give it to the people who actually want it.
That reminds me of the Die Hard 2, no, Die Hard 3 thing where they have to pour out a certain amount of water into a liter and put it on a scale, and it's like, that never made sense to me. I'm like, how do you know if. Anyway, I don't know if that'll stay into the cut.
Math.
Math.
Math's bad. Language arts is worse though.
So outside of all this, we're hanging out in the garage. You've got the tankless water heater making noise. Mom's upstairs taking a bath. All the things that people really need to know about. Um,
How to take a bath.
we could do a video about that, but I don't
I
know
don't
if
think
I'm.
we should.
I don't think I'm the guy to. Well, maybe.
No.
I mean, theoretic. I mean, maybe not be like an exact show and tell, but maybe.
I'm not gonna be a part of that video.
Well, I would want you to be a part of it, but I mean, anyway. Long story short, say that a lot. Keep getting drifting off here. Anyway,
Since we're ranting about school, I'm gonna rant about my language arts classes, cause
no.
why not? It's even worse than the math rant.
All right, no names.
No names.
No names. No, no identifying things.
No identifying.
Okay.
Yes. My language arts teacher, we're gonna call her language arts teacher. Um,
Sounds appropriate.
so what she's been teaching us currently. Um,
Wow.
so
Yoga? She's been teaching you yoga.
No.
No.
Not even our health teacher teaches us yoga. She teaches us about social emotional stuff.
Okay.
Anyways, so language arts. You know, you're supposed to be learning about like how to read and write, maybe definitions of words. We do some of that, but very little. Most of what she teaches us 10% battery. Anyways, most of what she teaches us
We gotta wrap this up.
most of what she teaches us is what a noun is. Like, I'm not even joking. She's been teaching us what a verb is. I learned that back in kindergarten. I don't need to be wasting my education time
At a middle school grade.
and to teach me
On the
what a
verge of
verb
high
is.
school. What's a verb? I'm glad you
I
asked
don't
that,
know.
Sophia. I really would like to know what a verb is. Could you tell me? Could you help me? Hey Google, what's a verb?
The worst part is I'm in the advanced class.
I don't know, but I found these results on search.
Not even Google knows why.
Well, it pulled in like, I'm not the worst in the class. Hey,
I'm in the advanced class.
watch this. Hey Google, what's a verb?
A verb is an action word.
According to Wikipedia, a verb is a word that in syntax generally conveys an action, an occurrence, or a state of being.
A
In the
verb is
usual description of English, the basic form, with or without the particle to, is the infinitive. In many languages, verbs are
Hey
inflected
Google,
to
shut up.
To sum that up, a verb is an action word.
Boom.
Sorry, I don't understand.
Shut up, Google.
She doesn't understand either.
Anyway, I'm in the advanced class, and we were talking about verbs like a couple weeks ago. And then the subject of an adjectives got brought up. Half of the class didn't know what an adjective was. Like, one kid asked the question, what was an adjective? And I look at this kid, what are you talking about? How do you not know what it is? And then raise your hand if you don't know what
You
an
just
adjective
said the name.
is. Cut that out. My bad.
Now I've got to do more work to the edit.
Darn. Anyway, English teacher. She's like, raise your hand if you don't know what an adjective is. Half the class raises their hand. I know what an adjective is.
I sort of know what it is.
An adjective is a word that describes a noun, like green.
Right.
A green cat. A is tiny triangle.
All right, you're putting people to sleep here.
A is the thingy. I forgot the name, but it doesn't matter because it's useless anyway.
Wrap it up. Language arts teacher, bad. She should do what?
Quit.
Whoa. Strong words from the daughter. I guess that's where it goes. Um,
She also picks favorites.
you know what's sad? I'll be blunt, brutally honest here. Like, if me and her had more of these conversations like this, I think that we would enjoy each other's company more often. But it's through the magic of YouTube and videos, just like this one, that me and my wonderful daughter here can bond a little bit about bitching about
That's a bad word. You
the
can't say
education
that.
system. Is it a bad word nowadays? I don't know.
Yes.
I mean, I think in the PG realm, I think it's quite PG. Now, if I was to drop like, it'd be like, no, you can't say that. By the way, I didn't even do that because, I mean, I did that, but I didn't say anything. I just mouthed something. I was like,
I couldn't even tell. He's just like, ah, bah, bah, bah.
yeah.
I heard,
It was like a fish. It was like,
ah, bah, bah.
you can't say it. Bah, 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 bah.
You can't say hell at school. You can't say damn at school.
Look, now we're going into like PG. Like, you're just dropping all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so what I'm getting at is, um,
Oh, there's this one teacher that I had last year. She wouldn't let you say any of those words that you substituted for bad words. Like, you couldn't say gosh.
anyway, I think our relationship would be better if we did more of these videos because obviously she's got some things to get off her chest. I've got some things to get off my chest. So, Anyway,
I hate my school.
from Anchorage, Alaska, I'm your host, Thomas Greenman, and you are... Adjective? Verb?
Green.
What?
Green. You said adjective. Verb.
Sophia
Running.
Greenman, and we'll see you on the next episode.